You recently described Flemingo's highlights from 2013 as funding from Albright Capital and CDIB, various master retail concessions, plus big projects in Tangiers and other locations, including concessions for your own concept express convenience stores and Salvador Airport in Brazil. So as a strategist of the company, where does the Chacali to Deca acquisition fit into all of this for you?
Since all our merchandise comes from Europe, we were looking for a logistic platform in Europe. And that was the key driver to get into Chacali, because Chacali is got a setup in Antwerp, which could feed into our new geographies, especially North Africa and Latin America, and also support our existing businesses in Central Eastern Europe.
Okay.
So that was one of the key drivers. We are also into diplomatic business. We have a good presence in Africa.
For a long time, actually.
For a long time.
Yeah.
In fact, our business started with the diplomatic platform. We run a UN store in Kenya, in Nairobi, and we have a diplomatic store in Pretoria in South Africa. So the diplomatic part of business was an added value to our acquisition strategy for Chacali. It would get us into the diplomatic business, into the heart of Europe. So, putting both the two pillars together, Chacali made sense. Chacali also was in the business of running 3 airport concessions, and that was synergetic to our Baltona business. So it made perfect sense to acquire Chacali.
Right, understood. You've talked about the importance of securing a 100 million plus 10-year core category exclusive contract. But more recently, you say it doesn't necessarily have to be one contract. How important is this to be able to build critical mass?
Yes, we need some chunky contracts to build up the volume, complementing our other businesses which are smaller in nature, but more dispersed in geography and used as a de-risking strategy. So, answering your question, yes, we need some chunky contracts which add to the critical mass.
With great respect to you, to attract investors, you obviously have to be able to demonstrate that, don't you?
Absolutely.
And that would be a key thing, I would imagine, at some stage if you were to go for an IPO, or as you suggested you might.
Yes, we were. That would add value, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, as we said, some of your retail rivals have obviously noticed you in the marketplace.
I'm sure.
Some have even dared to accuse Flemingo, if I might say, of being combative. Time to time, your various challenges to some duty-free RFPs, for instance, in India, South Africa, which I think not too many people know about, but also elsewhere. I mean, how do you respond to that? Is this not normal activity for you to be competitive? I mean, do you consider yourself competitive?
Well, I agree, we have been combative, but at the end we have made friends. So if you start with the first case which we had against Mumbai International Airport and DFS, we are currently working with DFS as partners. We had a litigation with Nuance and Bangalore International Airport, and we currently have a great relationship with Nuance in Europe. So I think all our challenges have ultimately resulted in friendship. So we don't take these, if there's a particular issue, we follow it through. But at the end, it's a win-win solution for both the parties.
I don't think too many people who know me would forgive me if I was to say that that's probably a funny way of making friends. I mean, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yes, it's a funny way of making friends, but we have made great friends and nurtured great friendship, which has been a result of the litigations which we were pursuing.
Well, we could take the example of India, where you're still working in a joint venture with DFS, couldn't we?
Yes, and our relationship is extending beyond the boundaries of India with DFS. So it started off as an outcome of a court case, resulted in a settlement, and finally emerged as a great relationship.
Okay. It's not a matter of policy to be annoying, though, is it?
No, it's not a manner. It's not
No,
policy.
yeah.
It's just if we felt that there's something being done wrong against us,
an
we have
injustice.
challenged it,
Yeah, okay.
and we've won everything we've fought.
That's fair enough.
So
Can't really argue.
the end result has proven that we were right in our challenges. So we've not fought for something which is illogical.
Can't really argue with that. So, just looking forward, for people that don't know Flemingo, for instance, people who might be future partners with you or may touch your business at some stage in the future, I mean, what would you say the most important components are for building the company into what you would visualize in the future and these people would be able to identify with?
The key drivers for our growth. We have been historically growing very fast. Our CAGR has been 80% for the last 9 years.
Sorry, I missed that.
Our CAGR, our compounded annual growth rate,
Yes.
has been 80% year on
Okay.
year for the
Okay.
last 9 years.
Yeah.
And we have a vision to achieve 2 billion by 2020. And the only way we could achieve this was strengthening our team. And 18 months back, we identified that we needed to upgrade and build on the competencies, and we have done an amazing job. We now have our dream team in place, which is probably ready to deliver half of our vision even as early as next year. So we have upgraded, we have built on our team, and that's our core strength today.
2 billion is a lot of money.
Yes,
It's going to be a lot of contracts you've got to win.
absolutely.
You confident you can do that?
Yes, we are very confident we can do that because we have a de-risking strategy in place. While we are pursuing concessions and contracts, we are also rolling out business models which are perpetual, like duty-free border stores, convenience stores, F&B, diplomatic business. So our de-risking strategy is to maximize the number of formats, increase the geographical footprint, but focused in the emerging market space. So we are a pure play emerging market company.
One of the things that I've noticed about your business would be that you've been quite smart in looking for some contracts which are not minimum guarantee formats,
Absolutely.
which therefore do not penalise you if things don't go well. Is that deliberate? It seems to be.
Yes, it is, and we do succeed in finding such niches. We are working on the master concession format for a lot of small size airports, which is below the radar of our competition. And we are a bit nimble in what we can do and what we deliver. So we have taken up a concession to build a ferry terminal with the in Tangiers, with all the retail and the F&B being managed by us, which is on a long-term basis. So, and without any MAG. So these are the areas which we are focusing on.
And nice long-term contracts, hopefully profitability.
Yeah, and in an area where traffic is only going to grow, because it's Tangiers is a ferry terminal on a port, which is now going to be linked by fast trains with Casablanca, cutting down the distance between Casablanca and Madrid by a couple of hours. So expected traffic is 7 million in the next few years.
You haven't picked this at random, have you?
No.
No.
It's because we invested heavily on our business development strength. We have people on the ground in 38 countries who are looking around, sniffing around on opportunities, and digging deep for such unique proposals.
Okay. Let's talk lastly about the IPO, because everybody in this industry seems to get terribly excited about IPOs, and I don't know why that is, because sometimes they're not successful. However, you have said on many occasions that this is an aim. More recently, I've noted that you said, well, actually, we're doing quite well at the moment, so should we not need to go for an IPO, then maybe we won't. Would that be an accurate reflection of where you are at the moment?
Absolutely. Internally, our company is getting ready, geared up for an IPO. We would be IPO ready in Q1 next year. Having said that, we would go through the motions if we need the investments. and if the market is right.
Why would you want to report every quarter on everything you have to do when you don't have to do that?
I completely agree with you.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.